Tony Daunt is co-hosting with us this morning, Executive Director of the Michigan Freedom Fund. Thank you for coming here to the policy conference with your eyes and ears on what's happening. And last night, the island seemed like it was buzzing. The weather was nice, and everybody's ready to rock.
It looks great, and it was nice and peaceful on the walk up here.
Okay, and a little bit foggy, too, it looks like this morning.
The higher you got, the foggier it is, for sure.
We're at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan Media Row at Grand Hotel, overlooking the porch and overlooking the Straits of Mackinac, and sort of reviewing what went on in the news this morning. We were at the governor's residence yesterday for a small media gathering, and we know that there was a victory, I guess. How do you explain the fact that there was an effort to lower auto insurance rates, and I say adjust, I don't know if it's reform, the auto no-fault system, but when you had a Republican House and Senate and governor for 2 terms, couldn't get it done before that, how did it happen now?
I think ultimately what happened was, this has been talked about for a number of years. It's each year it's increasingly become more of a hot button issue for the voters, and I think the individuals in leadership and legislature and Governor Whitmer, they all realize that we got to get something done, or we're going to face the wrath of the voters in 2 years and in 4 years if we don't get something done. And I think that pressure finally put them over the edge. They were tired of hearing from both of the lobbying sides, from the insurers on one angle and the hospitals on the other, and finally said, you know what, we're going to take a pound of flesh from each, and usually when you get something like that, it ends up being the right policy. And I haven't dug into the details of it, but I think they deserve kudos for getting this done, because a lot of people thought it would never get done.
Do you think there was the pressure from Dan Gilbert to organize a petition drive?
I don't think you can discount that.
Yeah.
That's certainly an individual who's pouring his heart and soul into helping Detroit and
money
and in Michigan and money, heart and soul, and his work, I think, should be part of the equation as well, for people who deserve credit.
Did somebody cave?
I think when you look at how this played out, and the Republicans in the legislature, they put forward a policy. They hung tough. They hung together. They put all of their members up as yes votes, got a few Democrats, and I think the governor found she was in a position where she had to sign something and work with them, because they were going to put it on her desk one way or the other.
And she wanted to loop in this 45-cent gas tax. That was a no-go, according to Senator Shirkey. But now what happens?
Well, I am continually amazed that she continues to push this idea. We've seen public polling, several bits of public polling that show this is wildly unpopular. The most recent one, I think, from Crane's Detroit, showed it at 75% people opposed. And
why would the Michigan Chamber be behind it? That's puzzling to me.
I'm not sure. I've never heard them say, Rich or anybody with the chamber say directly that we support 45 cents. But they certainly are pushing for some kind of revenue enhancement, and that may have to be part of the equation at some point. But to continually push this 45 cent increase, it's silly. It's an unpopular idea. It's not going anywhere in the legislature, and I think the governor's damaging her credibility on the issue by continuing to push that. And if she wants a solution, she should be a little more serious and realistic in what she's asking for.
So that'll be the next big fight.
Yeah, I think so. I think, and I think it should be. That's. Everybody deals with the roads. Driving up here, everybody hits the potholes, and it has to be addressed, because, again, the voters are sick and tired of being told things are going to get solved or get fixed and not having it happen.
Speaking, I mentioned the gift bag a little earlier. There was you'll find a little construction cone, a little rubber construction cone that says FTDR, fix the damn roads, on the cone.
I wonder if you can use it to save a parking space somewhere in downtown Lansing.
Yeah, well, a very small one, that's for sure. Speaking of money and so forth, I see Representative Inman pled in Grand Rapids yesterday not guilty to extorting money or looking for a bribe from the unions. Your thoughts? I think this conduct is really something else, and despite the protestations from Representative Inman on what he thought he was doing or what he intended to convey with his messages, the simple fact of the matter is this is conduct unbecoming of somebody who holds elected office, and he should do the right thing and resign for the people of his district, for the state of Michigan, so that it does not become a sideshow and a circus like we had a few years ago with Todd Corser and Cindy Gamrat, and that whole
chaotic scene, and allow the state of Michigan and the leaders, the legislature, the governor, to get to work fixing the damn roads and many other problems.
But if he says he's not guilty, why resign? Wouldn't it be an admission of guilt?
I think that he's looking at it the wrong way. I think it is a distraction. He's unable to serve properly in this role while he is going through this court battle. And I think, whether he's guilty or not, I think the right thing for the state and for his district would be to resign.
What about Labor Days in the schools, starting early, getting a waiver? This legislation that I see coming now is that the schools can decide for themselves whether they want to start early or not.
Yeah, and the data continuously shows that when kids, and you see a lot of school districts moving to this balanced calendar, they call it, where basically it's year-round school with like a 6-week break in the summertime, and a lot of people, they're resistant to it because it's change. And starting before Labor Day is change, but really it's not that much of a change because this law has only been in place since I think 2005 or 6, and we should be doing what's best for the kids. Too much of the conversation on education is what do the various adult interests care about, the teachers union, the administrators, tourism, business. It should be what's best for the kids. And if it's best for the kids and best for the school district to start before Labor Day, they should be allowed to do that. This isn't forcing anybody to start before Labor Day. If it doesn't work for the school district, you won't have to do it. But I think we should focus on continuously improving the outcomes for our children rather than what's best for tourism or any other industry.
We'll continue. He's Tony Daunt, Executive Director of the Michigan Freedom Fund.